In the previous session, we had covered what do you mean by cloud computing service provider, right? So it is an on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet in a pay-as-you-go model. It means whenever any user require any IT resources in order to set up his servers, in order to run their applications, simply they can go over the internet to the respective cloud computing service provider. They can get the IT resources. And how they're going to pay it? They're going to pay it in a pay-as-you-go model. So it is what known as a cloud computing service provider. Now, with respect to this cloud fundamentals, we need to understand two more important topics. It is known as the cloud service models, and the other one is the cloud deployment models. First, we'll try to understand these cloud service models. So, this cloud service models is of three types. They are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Okay, one is our infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service, and software as a service. So there are three types of service models in the cloud computing service providers. So what does it mean exactly? Right? So to make it more clear about these cloud service models, let me take a simple story here. Let's say this is me and I'm feeling hungry. So I went to a hotel. There are many hotels, right? So I went to a particular hotel. Now this hotel is saying that we are providing the services to you, right? We provide the services to you in three types. To fulfill your requirement, we providing the services to you in the three types. So let's see what are the three types. So in the first type of service, what this hotel is telling that, my dear Rahul, you can get what are the resources that you want. You just pick what are the resources that you want in order to cook your own food. I think it is clear. In the first type of services, the hotel is telling that, my dear Rahul, what are the resources that you want? You just take the resources and you can start preparing your own food. So in this process, I'm selecting my own resources, like I'm choosing my own ingredients that are required to in order to cook the food, right? I'm selecting my own utensils that are required in order to cook the food. So what are the resources that I have selected? I am the responsible for these resources. I am the responsible for the resources that I have selected, right? It means there is a more control, right? There is a more control. There is a more freedom. There is a more control, right? At the same time, I am the responsible for the resources that which I have selected. That is the first type of services providing by this hotel. Okay. Now using these resources, I can start preparing my own food. In the second type of service, what this hotel is saying that, okay, my dear Rahul, if you don't want to take this complete responsibility of maintaining the resources, if you don't want to take the complete responsibility on the resources, you just give the inputs. You just tell me what you want. Okay, you just tell me what you want. So in this case, I'm providing my inputs. I'm telling that I need so and so ingredients. Okay, I'm telling to the hotel now, use these ingredients, use these utensils. Right? It means I'm telling to the hotel, kindly set up a platform. Kindly provide this platform as per my requirement. Now it is whose responsibility here? It is not my responsibility to maintain this platform. It is the hotel responsibility to maintain this platform. Now using this platform, I start focus on preparing my food. I hope it is clear. In the first type of service, Here I am the complete responsible of the resources and also preparing my own dish, right? Responsibility in the sense, if the ingredients are over, it is my responsibility to fill up the ingredients. If the utensils are not enough, it is my responsibility to get the respective utensils. On top of that, my focus is also preparing the dish. Here, if you observe, I have the more control on my resources. But in the second type of services, I don't want to take this responsibility on top of my head. In this case, I'm just giving my inputs, whatever I want in order to cook the food. I'm just giving that inputs. So I'm telling to the hotel, kindly provide these utensils and kindly provide these ingredients. So the hotel is providing this platform to me as per my requirements. Now using this platform, I may just focus on preparing my dish. It means the hotel is taking care of the platform. My focus is, as a user, I can focus on my dish. That is the second type of service. The hotel is also providing one more service type. So in this third type of service, okay, my dear Rahul, we are also providing the ready-made cooked food. You need not to worry about the resources. You need not to worry about the responsibilities. What are the dish you want? Let us know. We already have the ready-made cooked food for you. Just let us know. We will serve this food to you. So here in this case, I don't have any responsibility upon the resources, ingredients, etc. Directly the food is available to me, where I can start consuming the food. So if you observe here, in these three types of services. So in the first services, the user have the higher responsibility and more control over the resources. In the second type of services, the responsibility is shared between me and the hotel management. In the third type of services, the user, he nowhere concerned about the responsibility. He directly consuming the ready-made available food. In the same way, if we connect this story to the technical side, even in the cloud computing service providers like AWS, Azure, GCP, etc., they are also providing the services to the customers. What are the services they are providing to the customers over the internet? These services, these cloud services, are divided into three models. We can segregate these services into three models. So that three models are known as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So just like the above story, where the hotel, right, is providing three types of services. So in the same way, in the cloud computing service providers also, like AWS, Azure, Microsoft, and the GCP, Google Cloud Platform, right? Even they are also providing the services in these three models: IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. So to make it clear, let's say this is me. I'm working for one of the organization, and in my organization, I have the requirement to set up a server and to deploy the application. So I went to the AWS, one of the global leading cloud computing service provider. Now, what are the resources that I am selecting? What are the resources that I am taking from the AWS? I need to have the more control of the resources. Okay, I need to have the more control of this resources. In that case, I'll choose a service which fall under this infrastructure as a service. Okay, which fall under this category. So what happens if I select the service which fall under this category? Because what are the infrastructure? What are the resources that I have selected? I have the more control of the resources that I have selected. Let's say I want to set up a server, right? Now I need the resources. I went to one of the service called EC2 in the AWS, which fall under the infrastructure as service. So using the EC2, I selected the software configuration. I selected the hardware configuration. So with this, I set up a server in the cloud, right? Now, what are the software configuration that I have selected? Let's say I selected the Windows. And for the hardware configuration, I selected 2 CPU capacity, 4 GB RAM, some 30 GB hard disk. Now, what are the resources that I have selected using this service? Right? It is my responsibility. It means if the Windows operating system is outdated, it is my responsibility to update this operating system time to time. Okay. If this 4 GB RAM is not enough for this server, it is my responsibility to upgrade. If that 30 GB hard disk is not enough, which is allocated to this server, it is my responsibility to upgrade. It means I have the more control of the resources that which I have selected. Right. So such type of service is known as a infrastructure as a service, because The user have the more control over the infrastructure that they have selected. Now using this service, right? Now using this server, I can deploy my application where the customers can access or the internet. So such type of services are fall under the infrastructure as service, where the user have the more control and more responsibility. If I don't want to take the responsibility of the infrastructure, there are a few services. Example in the AWS, where the service called EBS, Elastic Beanstalk. It is a service. This service falls under this respective service model called platform as service. So what do you mean by platform service? As I told you in the above example, where I am providing the inputs and the hotel is maintaining this platform as per the inputs that I have provided. Now I am ready to use this platform and my focus is just to prepare the dish. Now who is responsible here to maintain this platform? The hotel is responsible to maintain the platform. But how this platform is designed, how the platform is maintained? It is maintained as per the inputs that I have provided. Here the responsibility is shared between the user and the hotel. In the same way, in this cloud computing service providers, there are certain services where the responsibility is shared between the user and the respective cloud computing service provider. In our case, it is AWS. Now I went to EBS, Elastic Beanstalk. Using this service, I am providing my requirement. I am saying that I need so and so server with this software configuration, with this hardware configuration. Right? I am providing my inputs to this respective cloud computing service provider service called EBS. Now this EBS responsibility is to set up this platform. Right? To set up this platform means to set up this server as per our requirement. So this Elastic Beanstalk is setting up the server as per the inputs that which are provided. Now using this server, I may start using this server to deploy my application. So here if you observe, my focus is only on coding or deploying the application. Now the AWS, it means the AWS service called EBS. It is its responsibility to maintain this server, to maintain this platform as per my requirement. So such type of services are known as platform as a service, where the responsibility is shared between the user and the respective service provider. So not only this, we have the another type of service model in this cloud computing service provider like AWS, Azure, GCP. These service models, these services are known as software as service. Example like our Gmail, Google Drive. They are the ready-made servers. Okay, they are the ready-made softwares where we can access and we can use. We need not to worry about the underlying infrastructure. We need not to worry about the responsibilities. Right? They're the ready-made softwares where we can log in and we can access the services. In the same way, in the cloud computing service providers also, you have the certain softwares, certain services which are ready-made available, which are readily available to use without worrying about the infrastructure, without worrying about the platform, etc. Example in the AWS, we have something called Trusted Advisor. It is a ready-made service. You can access these services without worrying about the underlying infrastructure, right? Where it is providing the best practices to you, to the users. Like we have something called AWS Time. It is one of the service in the AWS. It is providing the it is similar to our Zoom, where we can have the meetings. In the AWS also we have the one of the service. Using this service, we can also conduct the Zoom meetings. So the ready-made softwares which are readily available to consume. Right? I hope it is clear to everyone. So in the cloud computing service provider, it might be AWS, it might be Azure, it might be GCP, okay, etc. They are the services which fall under these categories. So it is up to your requirement which type of service that you're going to choose, and you need to aware of this. What is your responsibility? Because we should not blame the cloud computing service provider for everything. Okay, you need to be aware which service you have selected and which category it falls. If it is an infrastructure as service, it is the user responsibility to maintain the respective resources. Right? So this is how it works in the real time. I hope it is clear to everyone. Right? See you in the next session with respect to this cloud deployment models. Thank you all.